Hello, little adventurers. Welcome to our bedtime story channel. Tonight, I have an exciting tale to share with you. It's called The Phantom School Bus. So, snuggle up in your cozy blankets, close your eyes, and let your imagination take you on a thrilling journey. Are you ready? Let's begin. In the small town of Brooksville, everyone knew about the Phantom School Bus. It was an old, rusted relic from the past, abandoned and left to decay on the outskirts of town near a thick, foreboding forest. The bus was said to be haunted, and the stories surrounding it sent shivers down the spines of children and adults alike. The legend went like this. Decades ago, a school bus full of children vanished without a trace on a foggy October morning. Despite exhaustive searches, neither the bus nor the children were ever found. Over the years, people claimed to see a ghostly school bus driving through the streets at night, filled with the spirits of the lost children. Whenever it appeared, it left a trail of eerie silence and cold air in its wake. Three best friends, Tommy, Sarah, and Ethan, had heard the tales many times. They loved adventures and solving mysteries, and they were determined to uncover the truth behind the Phantom School Bus. One crisp autumn afternoon, as they rode their bikes through town, Tommy brought up the idea. "Why don't we check out the old bus ourselves?" Tommy suggested, his eyes gleaming with excitement. "It's just sitting there, waiting for us." "Are you serious?" Sarah replied, her voice a mix of fear and curiosity. "What if the stories are true?" "That's why we need to go," Ethan said, always the bravest of the group. "We need to see it for ourselves and figure out what's really going on." After some convincing, Sarah agreed, and they made a plan to visit the abandoned bus the following night. They packed their backpacks with flashlights, snacks, and Tommy's camera to document their findings. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the town, the three friends met at the edge of the forest. The air was crisp, and the only sounds were the rustling leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. They took a deep breath and ventured into the woods, following a narrow path that led to the clearing where the bus sat. The bus loomed ahead, half hidden by overgrown bushes and vines. Its once bright yellow paint was now chipped and faded, and its windows were covered in grime. The door hung ajar, creaking softly in the breeze. "This is it," Tommy whispered, feeling a mix of excitement and unease. "Let's get a closer look," Ethan said, leading the way. They carefully approached the bus, their flashlights casting eerie shadows on its surface. As they reached the door, they hesitated, listening for any signs of life. All they heard was the wind rustling through the trees. "Ready?" Tommy asked, his hand on the door. "Ready," Sarah and Ethan replied in unison. Tommy pushed the door open, and they stepped inside. The air was musty, and the interior was covered in dust and cobwebs. The seats were torn and worn, and the floor was littered with leaves and debris. Despite the state of decay, the bus felt strangely alive, as if it had a story to tell. "Look at this," Sarah said, pointing to the driver's seat. There was a faded photo taped to the dashboard. It showed a group of smiling children and a kindly-looking bus driver. "That must be the missing kids," Ethan said, examining the photo. "And the driver too." "Let's see if we can find anything else," Tommy said, pulling out his camera to document the scene. They moved through the bus, checking under seats and in the overhead compartments. Suddenly a cold breeze swept through the bus, and they heard a faint whispering sound. "Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, her eyes wide with fear. "Yeah," Tommy replied, gripping his flashlight tighter. It sounded like voices. The whispering grew louder, and the temperature inside the bus dropped. The friends could see their breath misting in the air. "We should get out of here," Ethan said, his voice trembling. As they turned to leave, the bus door slammed shut with a loud bang, and the engine roared to life. The bus began to move, driving itself down the forest path. "What's happening?" Sarah screamed, panic rising in her voice. "I don't know," Tommy shouted back, his those kids. They pushed open the heavy doors and stepped into the dark, musty hallway. Their flashlights revealed faded murals and dusty lockers. As they explored the building, they found old classrooms filled with desks and books left behind, as if the school had been abandoned in a hurry. In one classroom, they discovered a chalkboard with writing that seemed to have been recently erased. Faint words were still visible. "Help us." "This is getting creepy," Sarah said, shivering. "I think they want us to find something," Tommy said. "Something that will help them." They continued their search, finally reaching the principal's office. Inside, they found a dusty file cabinet filled with old records. Tommy pulled out a folder labeled Bus 23, the same number as the Phantom school bus. "Look at this," he said, showing the others. The folder contained newspaper clippings and reports about the missing bus and children. One article caught their attention. It mentioned a tragic accident where the bus driver had lost control, causing the bus to veer off the road and into the river. The driver and all the children had drowned, their bodies never recovered. "That's it," Ethan said, his voice filled with sadness. "That's what happened to them." Suddenly, the temperature in the room dropped, and the whispering voices returned, this time sounding more urgent. "They want us to help them find peace," Sarah said, tears in her eyes. "We need to do something." Tommy thought for a moment. "We need to take the bus back to the river. Maybe if we recreate what happened, their spirits can finally move on." They hurried back to the bus, which started up as soon as they climbed aboard. The bus seemed to know where it was going, driving itself back through the town and toward the river. The ghostly figures appeared again, this time with expressions of hope and relief. As the bus approached the river, it slowed down and came to a gentle stop at the water's edge. The friends climbed out and watched as the bus slowly sank into the river, the ghostly figures standing by the shore, their forms shimmering in the moonlight. "Thank you," one of the ghostly children said, her voice soft and filled with gratitude. "We can rest now." The spirits began to fade away, their expressions peaceful. The friends watched in silence as the last of the apparitions disappeared, leaving the riverbank quiet and still. "We did it," Tommy said, feeling a mix of sadness and relief. "We helped them find peace." The friends made their way back to town, the weight of their adventure heavy on their shoulders. They knew they had done something important, something that would change the way the town remembered the Phantom school bus. In the days that followed, the town learned of their brave adventure. The story of the Phantom school bus became one of hope and closure, rather than fear and mystery. The friends were hailed as heroes, their courage and determination bringing peace to the spirits of the lost children. And so, the legend of the Phantom school bus lived on, not as a tale of terror, but as a story of bravery and compassion, inspiring generations to come. Thank you for joining us on the Phantom school bus adventure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Little Adventurers for more enchanting bedtime stories every week.